Good evening, this is Gambia24 where we bring you stories making headlines. I am Sohna Tunkara. Let's take a look at our news bulletin. Before the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission on Thursday, the alternative HIV treatment by former President Yahya Jammeh got the condition of a female patient worse. Gambia government's COVID-19 relief food package is on the completion stages, according to the country's vice president. On corruption allegation, U.S. seeks forfeiture of ex-President Jammeh's multi-million-dollar property. These and more coming up on Gambia24. Stay tuned. Welcome back and thanks for joining us. We begin with breaking news coming in that the Gambia's Ministry of Health
the coronavirus pandemic has taken another jump on the 8th June 2020.
8 of whom are health care workers. The latest news brings the total number of cases since March to 78. There are 41 active cases under treatment, while 34 have successfully recovered with 3 deaths. Meanwhile, 316 new persons have been taken into quarantine, bringing the total number of 66 to 663. Number to 663 rather. A witness whose identity was concealed before the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission on Thursday told the commission that she had suffered as a result of her enrollment to the alternative HIV treatment by former President Yahya Jammeh. Aissatou Tamba has more in this report.
A HIV patient whose identity was withheld told the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission on Thursday that she joined the Alaten group as a HIV activist, from where she got information of the ex-president alternative treatment program of AIDS. From there, she narrated, she and other members of the group joined the treatment program at State House in Banjul, where they met with Yahya Jammeh to administer what he called the cure on them.
After we were all given a towel and a cup, we started going in again one by one. If you reach inside in the inner room, you will have to take off your clothes and tie that towel. There were nurses present. Personally, I cannot climb by myself onto the bed. It is those nurses who help me to climb onto the bed. He himself will come and tell you to open up your 2 hands. Then he will read some incantations and read something into the palms of your hand. He will tell you to rub it on your face. When he's ready, there is something which is inside a cup in his hand. It looks like mentholatum. That's what he will take from the cup, plus the nurses, each one will take some and they will rub that on your body. After rubbing that thing on your body, he will again tell you to open your palms and he will pray and read something into your palms.
Sorry, Madam Witness.
And tell you to rub it on your face again.
If you're comfortable to tell this commission, can you tell us where on your bodies that they rubbed the said lotion in their hands?
They will rub it onto everybody because they'll tell you to take off all your clothes. Even a string will not remain on your body.
It was her testimony that although the concoction given to them on the first day appeared harmless, what the substance applied on their bodies was hot enough for the skin. On the second day, she said, a different brand of concoction was brought to them, which resulted to several hardships for the patients in the program.
Then there was another type of medicine which they brought called chakri. And there was another type, they call it jine. Those are the types of medicine which created problems for us there.
Can you tell the Commission how it made you feel when you took the medication called chakri?
Iba minna dorong abadunne kono kono janni ba fala 1 hour kono ba okay mutala o fono. If you drink this chakri, by the time it is 1 hour, you will start having a running stomach. O fono. Or you will start vomiting.
According to her testimony, her condition, together with her son, worsened after 2 months under the ex-president Jammeh's treatment program. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Aissatou Tamba.
From that report by Aissatou Tamba, Gambia government's COVID-19 relief food package is on the completion stages, according to the country's vice president. She made the remark on Wednesday while responding to concerns raised by members of the National Assembly on the level of progress since May. Amadou Kante reports.
Gambia's vice president has said that 80% of the government COVID-19 relief food package has been distributed barely 2 months after the launch of the initiative. Dr. Aissatou Toure was responding to concerns raised by parliamentarians regarding the food distribution. Government approved over $700 million worth of food commodities to support vulnerable households across the country amid the impact of the COVID-19 global pandemic. She reported of challenges during the distribution that prompted the introduction of mechanisms to extend the support to more households in the rural communities.
And at the moment, last week, Saturday, we had the whole team sitting down to assess where do we have the gaps, because as we move, like I told you earlier, this is one of the biggest humanitarian response that we are giving. And we are reaching out to 100% of the rural communities. Means that we are facing challenges. But 80% is already accessed, so the remaining will be done. It's in progress and it will be taken note of.
Vice President Toure said the government has also outlined measures to complete the distribution of the remaining food items in recognition of the rainy season. She assured the Assembly of a report on the project once the distribution is completed.
Honorable Speaker, would the Honorable with Her Excellency the Vice President inform this August Assembly whether they have mechanisms in place to ensure that there is fair distribution of this relief? Because we've got complaints of some families having half bags or having rice, not having cooking oil. Do you have the mechanism in place to ensure that at the end of the day you will account for everything, that there was fair distribution and extensive distribution?
Yes, indeed. There are. And even before we started the operations, those mechanisms were put in place. We worked with a framework that looked at the whole population, the various types of families, the information, the data, and all the processes are in place. So the issue of accountability and reporting back is not a problem. It's a question of completing the exercise and then coming back to tell you this is what it is as the process is going on. But definitely the mechanisms are there.
She also informed members of the National Assembly of the statistics around the relief packages as of July 2020.
Honorable Speaker, so far as at the 1st of July 2020, the actual amount of rice, sugar, and oil dispatched to the regions were 236,269 50 kg bags, 237, 189 50 kg bags, and 71,416.5 20-liter gallons, respectively. On the distribution to the beneficiaries, a total of 194,292.5 50 kg bags of rice, 194,292.5 50 kg bags of sugar, and 151,105.5 10-liter gallons of oil were distributed.
There is increased in number of COVID-19 cases in the past 2 months in the country, with the death toll at 3 since March this year, out of more than 60 cases. As a result, President Barrow on Wednesday announced a fresh declaration of state of public emergency to last for 7 days. By this latest declaration, the public is being advised to take all precautionary measures to protect themselves and others in a bid to curtail the spread of the COVID-19.
In the United States, the Department of Justice has filed a civil complaint seeking the forfeiture of a property acquired by about $3.5 million by the ex-president of the Gambia, Yaya Jammeh. The property located in Maryland, according to the claims, was acquired in corruption proceeds through a trust set formed by the former First Lady, Zainab Jammeh. According to the complaint, Yaya Jammeh corruptly obtained millions of dollars through the embezzlement of public funds. The complaint further alleges that Yaya Jammeh conspired with his family members and close associates to utilize overseas trusts to launder his corrupt proceeds throughout the world. The case is being handled by attorneys of the Money Laundering and Asset Recovery section of the Criminal Division with an assistant U.S. attorney of the District of Maryland. A civil forfeiture complaint is merely an allegation that money or property represents the proceeds of a crime. These allegations are not proven until a court awards judgment in favor of the United States. Now, earlier on, my colleague Ibrahim Presba with a US-based Gambian journalist and a publisher of the Freedom newspaper online, Panderimbai, to talk on the move by the United States against Gambia's ex-president Yaya Jammeh.
Today's Justice Department decision to pursue Jammeh's stolen funds and assets hidden in the United States, in my view, confirms the global perception of the US being the home and the bastion of democracy, human rights, and justice. In other words, the US is not a safe haven for agents of human rights violations and corrupt officials who are in the business of stealing money from their poor taxpayers only to hide it overseas. The US is invoking the kleptocracy law, which in other words is meant to pursue stolen assets and funds concealed in the US. Ibrahim, I'm not in the business of blowing my own trumpet. When we first reported the story of Jammeh having a home in the US, his supporters were quick to dismiss the story, describing it as false and unfounded. Well, we've been vindicated. Now it has been confirmed that Yaya Jammeh allegedly stole millions of dollars belonging to poor taxpayers in Gambia to buy a mansion in Potomac, Maryland. What's going to happen in the final analysis is that once the court grants a ruling in favor of the U.S. State Department, the U.S. will work in concert with the Gambian government to ensure that property is sold and the proceeds paid to the Gambian government. It is the honors of the Barrow government to ensure that once the proceeds are transferred to Banjul, the money should be spent judiciously.
That was Panderimbai on the phone earlier on with my colleague Ibrahim. Now moving on, the 4th edition of the African Anti-Corruption Day has been commemorated Anti-Corruption Coalition in the Gambia on Wednesday. The event this year calls for fighting corruption through effective and efficient judicial system. The Gambia has since 2005 been part of the 44 AU member states that have ratified the Convention on the Prevention and Combating of Corruption. More of that in this report by our Makalu.
In commemoration of the 4th edition of the African Anti-Corruption Day under the theme Fighting Corruption Through Effective and Efficient Judicial System, the Anti-Corruption Coalition in the Gambia observed that the process is generally slow. According to the organization, the prolonged formation of the anti-corruption bill that has lasted for 8 years and the lack of adequate resources for the judiciary were among the impeding factors to the attainment of a corrupt-free state. Abdoulaye Jadama, chairman of Anti-Corruption Coalition, alleged that the government had shown limited movements in policy actualization and implementation of anti-corruption commitment to the African Union.
The Gambia should take every effort to submit a periodic report, which is also another fundamental requirement that we fail in, and allow country visit by African Union advisory board in the coming year. The level of anticipated corruption is further taken for granted due to the fact that the government of the Gambia is not doing enough to investigate of public sector corruption from both civil society, the whistleblowers, from media, public service, and international organizations. Clear example is the recent statement made by the current Minister of Health on massive cane of corruptions at the Ministry of Health.
A member of the coalition working group asserts that it would have been more appropriate for the parliament to look into the anti-corruption bill before spending more resources on other errands.
So, always I keep saying, hadn't been we have the anti-corruption commission, then we will not be talking about these commissions, spending millions of dollars into these commissions. The anti-corruption commission, the anti-corruption bill has been at the National Assembly for a while now. In 2019, I think the president said the anti-corruption commission should be, not the president, the Minister of Finance. During the budget speech, he made mention that the anti-corruption commission should be in operation by end of 2019. So, come 2019, we have seen the anti-corruption commission in post, but the bill was in early December 2019. To date, we have been seeing bills that have been going to the National Assembly, and that the Finance and Public Accounts Committee is still looking into that bill.
The Gambia has since 2005 been part of the 44th member state of the African Union that ratified the Convention on the Prevention and Combating Corruption. The West African state has made strides to fight against corruption, attested in the reformation of the criminal codes and procedures and the commissioning of the Jana Commission to probe into assets under the former president of the Gambia. For iAfrica TV News, Awamakalu.
With that brings us to the end of today's Gambia 24 with me. Stay tuned for more of our interesting program. It's a bye for now.